Hello, welcome. Shout out to Julie L. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Juliet. Shout out to Juliet. No, you can add more names if you want me to shout out more names. That's okay. Shout out to Aliam. Shout out to Kinsley. You're welcome. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Maya. Shout out to Naya. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Aneska. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Tatum. Shout out to Joshua. Shout out to Dolly. Shout out to Raina. Shout out to Vivian. Shout out to Scarlett. Shout out to Delvin. Shout out to Cassandriana. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Katya. Shout out to Drayden. Shout out to Ginny. Shout out to Agam. Shout out to Gabrielle. Shout out to Isaac. Shout out to Mary. Whoops, I kind of messed up the R. I'm going to rewrite it. Shout out to Mary. Shout out to Raylene. Thank you for showing me how to pronounce your name. Shout out to Anna. Shout out to Melanie. Shout out to Gavin. Shout out to Seth. Shout out to Emily LH. Shout out to Emma. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Roshan. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Ariana. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Anita. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Michelle. Shout out to Jace. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Hattie. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Kennedy. Shout out to Sky. Shout out to Athena. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Lola. Shout out to Scarlett. Shout out to Hasanat. Shout out to Lincoln. Shout out to El Medina. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Hattie. Shout out to Molly. Shout out to Embry. Shout out to Sienna. Shout out to Vincy. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Enzo. Shout out to Shalia. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Imogen. Shout out to Cassie. Shout out to Susan. Shout out to Ethan. Shout out to Peyton. Shout out to Fatima. Shout out to Ella. Shout out to Audrina. Shout out to Hannah. Shout out to Cynthia. Shout out to Scarlett. Shout out to Cora. Shout out to Anwar. Shout out to Trinity. Shout out to Nico. Shout out to Sana. Shout out to Amaya. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Blakely. Shout out to Chelsea. Shout out to Benji. Shout out to Joseph. Shout out to Sophie. Shout out to Erica. Thank you, Erica. Shout out to Anna. Shout out to Avery. Shout out to Eden. Shout out to Marlena. Happy birthday. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Leo. Shout out to Zaka. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Amelia. Shout out to Javier. Shout out to Sawan. Oh, Safwan. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Angel. Shout out to Hasanat. Shout out to Jay. Shout out to Julia. Shout out to Jason. Shout out to Melanie. Shout out to Nathaya. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Kayla. Shout out to Rose. Shout out to Monse. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Excuse me. Shout out to Presley. Shout out to Paula. Shout out to Livia. Shout out to Jackie. Shout out to Kaya. Shout out to Glow. Shout out to Utsav. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Valerie. Shout out to Jacob. Shout out to Hasanat. Shout out to Sarai. Shout out to Anaya. Shout out to Jace. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Jehovah. Shout out to Madison. Shout out to Yareli. Shout out to Angel. Shout out to Lila. Shout out to Dylan. Shout out to Harper. Shout out to Levi. Shout out to Peyton. Shout out to Megan. Shout out to Noelle. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. Shout out to Lucia. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out as well. Shout out to Jada. Shout out to Sajid. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Oh my goodness, I spelled it wrong. Shout out to Sajid. Shout out to Aaron. Shout out to Roro. Shout out to Harris. Shout out to Howard. Shout out to Aria. Shout out to Liliana. Shout out to Genevieve. Shout out to Riley. Shout out to Rowan. Shout out to Denise. Shout out to Sasha. Shout out to Jane. I put Jane up here. Shout out to Milana. Shout out to Lau. Shout out to Honey. Shout out to Raheem. Shout out to Satvik. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Eris. Shout out to Kylie. Shout out to Rosie. Shout out to Zach. Shout out to Rora. Shout out to Nancy. Shout out to Tessa. Shout out to Miranda. Shout out to Elena. Shout out to Gustavo. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Elena. Shout out to Isa. Shout out to Maeve. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Adam. Shout out to Claire. Shout out to Isabella. Shout out to Rosalind. Shout out to Amanda. Shout out to Mason. Whoopsie. Mason. Shout out to Brooke. Shout out to Aram. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Leah. Shout out to Sierra. Shout out to Naraya. Shout out to Lauren. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Marilena. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Dahlia. Shout out to Nora. Shout out to Sydney. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Serenity. Shout out to Tuana. Shout out to Daisy. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Dave Doridin. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Clara. Shout out to Macy. Shout out to Alice. Shout out to Aloe. Shout out to Dilja. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Harper. Shout out to Aloe, I got you. Shout out to McKaylee. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Lupawa. Lufawu. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Kinsley. Shout out to Elimina Lau. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Shad. Shout out to Cameron. Shout out to Annabelle. Shout out to Opal. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Ollie. I don't know if I spelled Ollie correctly. Oh no, I didn't. Shout out to Ollie. There we go. Shout out to Bryce. Shout out to Olivia. Oh, did I have Olivia? No. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Emma. Shout out to Sammy. Shout out to Alora. Shout out to Sienna. Whoops, it doesn't fit. I'm gonna put it over here. Shout out to Sienna. Excuse me. Shout out to Erin. Shout out to Minnie. Shout out to Sebas. Shout out to Isabella. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Rory. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Koranifal. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Leslie. Shout out to Diva. Shout out to Vani. Shout out to Yusra. Shout out to these people. Thank you so much for joining. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. I do shout outs every day. I live stream every day. I'll be doing one again in like 3 hours. So please subscribe so you know when I'm gonna go live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Please check out my channel and please like some of the videos. I would truly appreciate it. I will see you soon. Bye.